ജാതിക്കാരുടെ മുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരും കാണുവിൻ, തയ്യാറായി നിൽക്കുന്ന യമവാഹനം. ഈ യമവാഹനത്തിൽ തിരിഞ്ഞിരുന്ന രാജ്യദ്രോഹിയായ നീലകണ്ഠൻ ഉടൻ പുറപ്പെടുന്നതാണ്.
That brings us to the conclusion. Before that, may I request the man of the day, Sri Gopikrishnan Kottoor, to say a few words about his book as well as propose the formal word of thanks.
I must first of all thank you all for coming in the rain. And I hope, and going back there will not be sunshine, but still I hope something must fill your minds about this work. Something quite substantial which I wanted to convey. And I'm fortunate to have such dignitaries with me today to have exchange pleasantries and not too pleasantries about the book. In fact, so I've not just read it. So, Sir, respected K.J. Kumar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tunjat H. University, Sri Nirmal Chand, Regional Director, Reserve Bank of India, Kerala, and lecture team, C. Adikeshwar, CGM State Bank of Travancore, C.K. Thomas, Director Doordarshan, Sri Devi Prasad, and General Manager SPT. My thanks to you all. And I would just like to say a few words again. My writer friends, Reserve Bank colleagues, well-wishers from various walks of life in the audience gathered to grace the occasion and for making this a very auspicious event. Actually, CGM, in fact, CGM was in a bitter throes. He was CGM, Mr. Adikeshwar. In fact, it called me 2-3 times, and in fact, he asked me whether I have such a view. Can I express this view? I felt this was very Mikkel too. He felt that it was a little inimical and that there was a state of compulsion in the book which was not there actually to pass things to Christianity. And I seem to portray that there was a sort of compulsion in the society. But I was immediately thrown to my younger days when I was studying tuition. My Malayalam is not too good. But then somebody told me I was learning. ചെറുശ്ശേരിയുടെ എരിശ്ശേരിക്കകത്ത് കഷ്ണമില്ലെന്നോ തോന്നുന്നു പറയാം. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇളക്കി നോക്കിയാൽ കാണണം. അപ്പോൾ സാർ തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞു ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം വായിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളൂ, അതുകൊണ്ട് സാറിന് 1-2 പ്രാവശ്യം വായിക്കും. അതുകൊണ്ടല്ല അതുകൊണ്ടല്ല because you know when you as far as I am concerned as a writer, just as Mr. Jaykumar was also saying, this aspect was very much in my mind, you know, that there would be a kind of feeling that the book would come across bring across this kind of thought in the mind, that it would perhaps be, make a feeling that I was trying to say that there was some compulsion going on there. But that is not the feeling, you know. Then I told Mr. Adikeshwaran himself that you must not see things in isolation, you know. See, I was also telling him that even today it happens that if somebody wants to frame somebody, you can go on all the way and sentence him to death, you know. You can get things done in such a way that you can sentence a man to death. He may be right, but you can prove him wrong. You know, that's the kind of society. I was also quoting, I should not be controversial. I was also quoting that our TP, what is his name? TP Chandrasekhar. His case also, you know, where, you know, Vishwasam, he is a betrayer. How that can work against you, havoc on you, even though in your mind you are not betraying anybody. You know, and it can seem that the whole society is compulsively towards that kind of a negative approach. But actually it is not. So it's not the society. When we talk of the palace, when we talk of the kingdom, when we talk of the scenario in which these things happen, this is happening in a very isolated segment of the palace, inside the palace. Some people wanting to poison someone, some people wanting to curry favor with someone. These are the kind of things, you know, and you get a prey in the protagonist, where you are able to sort of cook him up. You know, you can say this fellow is working in the palace, he's having access to king's records, he's throwing dung on Sripad Panaba's face, and you expect to think that this man with his white god will be of use to you. He's all the time transporting records to the British port and the Dutch port. If this was true, then how was Martanda Varma having faith in Hilda? If this was true, how was he having faith in his earlier general, Juvenskott, the German? No, but these are not the truths. These are not the truths. And all over what I have tried to portray is that Martanda Varma is a Hamlet as far as Devasa Hamlet is concerned. He's not there. He's always in his wars. You know, he's doing wars in the north. He has got his own problems. He wants to win. He wants to make Tiruvandambur a kingdom and wants to rule as an imperial monarch. And everything that's happening here is happening between a man who is a Machiavellian, who can have his ends, and who has the confidence of people like the priests, people like the Brahmins, who are close to him and who negate Christianity at that point in time. Now, these are some of the aspects. I only wish that there will be greater readings into the book, and because mine is just an evolution from a creative side, and so I just wanted to say this. I'm so sorry, I did not mean to say this, but I just wanted to say this. Okay. Now I'm coming back to my Thanksgiving. When I talk about, I should start with Mr. Jaykumar. I will just read out what I am taken back 30 odd years ago. this evening, as I recollect, young Jayakumar, just back from his IAS interview. He then said, Gopi, I read your points in the Youth Times. The Youth Times was a small Benjamin Coleman magazine for the youth. And they was, and Kamaladas was the editor at that time. So all veterans were the editors. We are fortunate to have them. I remember asking him, how did you do your interview? And he smiled. He said it went okay. They asked me about the haiku. He said, it's not true. That is 30 years memory. That is our bond till today. You know? Bond is poetry. It is the bond of poetry that has picked him and me together at some point of time. And years later, much later, when I was toying with the idea of the poetry chain, Dr. Panikar with me, it was Mr. Jayakumar himself who said, okay, come, let us see whether you can. I was publishing the booklet in the form of photo stats, and I think he must have taken pity on me. He and Dr. Panikar must have taken pity on me, and then said, come, let us see what can be done. And in the process, at that time he was Secretary General Education, and then he called one person. And when I'm saying all this, what I'm trying to say is that there is a force I most often felt that is beyond us, that brings everything in circles together. All of you sitting here together, I think, are bound by a similar karma that binds me to this. This is a very, very expansive thought. Now this man, this very small incident, I hope I will not take much time. In this incident, our Jayakumar Saab wanted me to go to his cabin, and I went there. And there was sitting one Mr. Sanji. Now he was handling all the textbooks of Kerala. So our friend asked, can you do something for this person? He is toying this idea and printing Xerox copies. And when I saw Mr. Sanjeev, you will not believe, he was a boy, he was a very rich magnate. He was a magnate who had so many printing presses, and he was one who developed some idea that clicked, and he won the President's Medal, etc. So he got to SPT loan or SBI loan, and he started picking up. Now this man was our neighbor. He was our neighbor, and what was he doing? Every day he would climb a tree near our house. There is a slaughterhouse. He would climb one kuvad, the bale tree, and come back with a bundle of leaves for my mother to worship. She used to worship the Shivalingam. So this is the boy who used to have all kinds of bruises on his back, and he used to come and give this bale leaves to my mother, and my mother would give some money. And at that time, he used to toy with the idea of the printing press. He would come and tell me, go in here, printing press, and he was learning ITI. Suddenly, his stars became very favorable to him, and he became a magnate. Now he's also one of the richest persons in Kerala. And you cannot find him. I invited him, but he's somewhere in Switzerland or someplace. Now, he said, when he saw me, then it was like a ring coming together. I never expected, sir, that's Gopi, as long as I have a printing press, whatever you want to publish, I will publish. What I'm saying is, there is something at some point of time that acts, that makes you work, that makes you play, that makes you do things. It's a karma. And I think this is my karma, to stand between here, to have these great dignitaries, and to be able to finish this book. It is not easy, as many. It is only because when I started off with this book,